Good afternoon. I'm going to be talking to you about Unit 6, the first module, Growing Up, Maintaining a Healthy Body Image. The objective for this lesson is for you to be able to identify the main idea and supporting evidence in informative essays. Please stop at this time and view the video introduction. Strong evidence for strong writing. If you've ever visited a cell phone store, you may have been given a brochure that includes info about the cell phone plans and all the features that the phones have. And brochures are actually a form of nonfiction called informational text. Now, informational text focuses on providing info, giving you information. It explains and describes a topic. So in research, you can use details from informational texts to make logical guesses, or we call them inferences. But remember, you need to back up your inferences by quoting the factual details that you find in the informational text. So let's look at the process of finding and using the information from an informational text. Okay, so you want to click each thumbnail image to find out more information about these acts: implicit details, inferences, and textual evidence. Explicit details require you to look for detail. These details are directly stated in the text. Objective, easy to understand. Okay, here's an example of a fact. A factual detail is a fact. Okay, and it's specific. All right, so for this activity, you're going to read the instructions, type in your response, check your answers. At the end, you'll write an evaluation of your work, just like you usually do. This time, you're going to read and evaluate a brochure. Use the information in the brochure to learn about the topic of body image. Okay? Part A, imagine you've been asked to write an article about maintaining a healthy body image, similar to the one that Elijah decided to write in the introduction. Now remember, before we go any further, if you are imagining that you are asked to write an article about maintaining a healthy body image, you need to assume a persona of someone who is knowledgeable about that. Maybe you're going to imagine that you're a newspaper reporter, or maybe you are someone in the health field that's going to be, presenting information in a credible way. That means that the style of your writing is going to need to be formal. The style of your writing is going to need to be mature, okay? Very scholarly in order for it to be persuasive. So keep that in mind when it says you're going to write an article, okay? An article is like a news story, something you would see on a blog, or something you would see in a online newspaper. So you're going to read the brochure right here. There's your info, your informational text. You're going to look for explicit details as well as information that supports the details. And you're going to note the details and the supporting information on the table. Okay, an example has been provided. So you're going to put details over here, and then the supporting information that's also located on the brochure will go here to support each one of your details. Okay? All right, finding the main idea. When you're looking for information, it's important to understand what the main idea is. And the text main idea is the author's point. What's he trying to make? What's he trying to tell you? Is he trying to inform you? Is he trying to teach you something? Is he trying to get you to avoid something? Is he trying to get you to get more involved in something? Usually you've got to interpret the main idea by analyzing those supporting details, analyzing examples, analyzing facts and reasons, descriptions. And a good way to clarify, that means to make it clearer, is to summarize the text. If you can summarize, it's a very good tool to use. That's when you restate the important details in your own words. Summaries should be short. You want to avoid using facts and details that are unnecessary or irrelevant to the main idea. So when you're summarizing, when you're reading a summary, it's going to be brief. It's not going to have details. It's going to be more presented in more general terms. Okay. And it's always going to relate to the main idea. It's not going to be off topic. Summarizing. Okay. You want to stop now and read the summary of your own healthy style. It's an article about changing your body ideals. Can you spot the main idea? Okay. After you have read the summary, think about what you think the main idea might be. Writing an academic summary is a brief version of a text that's written in a specific format. It breaks down ideas to increase the reader's understanding of the text. Okay? An academic summary has three components. It's going to have a topic sentence where it makes a claim. That's where the main idea is going to be. And then you're going to have key details that support that main idea, that claim. And then it's going to have a concluding statement that reinforces the main idea. So see, it's short. You're going to watch the video of a speech about body image by Senator Penny Wright of the Australian Parliament. Then use the template here as a reference, as a guide, to write your own academic summary, and you will type your summary here at the bottom. Okay? You can also consult the transcript of the speech, and a transcript is a printed version of the speech as you are creating your summary. Now we're going to look at writing a personal narrative. A personal narrative offers a true account of some aspect of your life. It's personal. The following are some characteristics that you'll find in a narrative, a personal narrative. And you can read more about how to structure a narrative by clicking on the blue hyperlink. But you want your narrative to have a purpose. Maybe it was an embarrassing moment. Maybe it was the happiest moment of your life. Maybe it was a very sad moment in your life. Maybe it was a very proud moment. Okay, that's a purpose. You want it to be a first-person account. This is an opportunity for you to actually get to use I and me and my in your essay. It will have an opening sentence that hopefully will be something that would create interest, maybe make us laugh, or it might get us thinking. Maybe it's a question, or it might be a quote, or it might be just an observation. You want it to capture the interest of the reader so that we want to read more about your story. It's going to have organized facts and events. You want to have an organized flow, okay? You typically, if you're telling a story about something that happened, you're going to want to tell it in the time order in which it happened. But if you want to do flashbacks, that's fine too. But you need to have a clear organization of your flow of ideas. Make sure you use lots of sensory description in your personal narratives. You want to appeal to my sense of sight and smell and hearing and taste and texture. You want to use lots of adjectives, okay? Lots of adjectives in a personal narrative. And then it's going to have a conclusion, an ending, to help readers understand what they've just read, to kind of sum everything up. The structure of the narrative can be divided into an intro, a body, and a conclusion. In your intro for the narrative, it's going to contain your hook or your thesis statement. The hook is catchy or a point of interest that attracts the reader's attention. That's going to be your first sentence. The thesis statement is going to come at the end of that first paragraph. And it's going to be kind of stating the purpose or the main idea of what you're writing about. Okay. The body of your personal narrative is going to contain all the details. You're telling the story, the beginning, the middle, and then what happened at the end. Using transition words to maintain the flow in between the ideas. So you use transitions at the beginning of every paragraph, right? After the detailed account of the event, then you're going to conclude your personal narrative. Don't just end it with the ending of the body. You have to conclude it by reminding the readers of what your thesis was and how the details helped you address it. Okay, so now you want to think of a time in your life when you considered your body image. For example, maybe playing soccer has helped you realize how strong and powerful your body is. Or maybe going through puberty has made you feel a little uncomfortable about your body in some way. Write a 300 to 350 word personal narrative essay detailing a personal experience you've had with body image. You're going to use the 5-paragraph structure that we just got through talking about, and you'll type it right here in the box. Next, you want to focus on language. Anytime you write an essay, whether it's for an assignment or to publish on a blog, you want to proofread it for punctuation and spelling errors before turning it in or posting it online. Now, remember, your spelling and grammar is going to show up, I think, in squiggly lines, at least when you're typing it in Microsoft or Google platforms. There will be a squiggly line. You can right click on whatever it is that's underlined and it will offer you a correction. That is critical. You should never turn in a piece of work that has any squiggly lines on it. That's one of my things that bother me when I'm reading students in person when they turn in a paragraph that they've written and there's a bunch of squiggly lines in it. And that shows me they haven't proofread. You've got to proofread. And so going on to checking for punctuation, you already know that a period indicates the stop at the end of a sentence. But there are other punctuation marks that indicate pauses or breaks. So don't forget to add commas where they need to go, ellipses when you're leaving out words, particularly in a quotation, and then using a dash. And if you are not familiar about when it's appropriate to use dashes, then you need to consult with Google. And there are some good websites that explain those rules. Proofreading, using commas. Again, here are some basic rules about commas. I'm not going to read them to you, but I do want you to maybe stop the video and read them. Next, direct quotations. This is sometimes known as a citation. When you are using quotes from your informational text, we call those direct quotations. And you have to punctuate them correctly with quotation marks, and because that shows that you're using the exact words from the quote. You're giving someone else credit for that information. Okay? You can also shorten the quote. If you'll notice here, an ellipsis is used. That's really only supposed to be 3 dots, not 4. That's an error on the part of whoever created this. But an ellipsis is 3 dots, and it denotes that there were some words left out. Notice it's the same exact quote, but it just leaves out some words. Okay? Spelling. Misspelled words can confuse readers and prevent them from understanding your text. It's annoying, too, to read misspelled words. Use the spell check feature that's available. These tools are not going to catch all the errors, though, so make sure to proofread it. Read it out loud if you can, because a lot of times you can find errors when you proofread, because you'll have trouble pronouncing the word if it's misspelled. And here is an interesting list of common spelling errors for you to take a look at, and that can help you proofread your work. All right. And then you can watch the summary. It's about 1.5 minutes. Congratulations, you have completed the tutorial.